Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Algorand family. Appreciate you guys as always. Recently I've been getting a lot of requests coming in. Crypto ZX, speak about Algorand, give us an update. And thank you for all the requests that you guys are sending. If you want to see more of these updates, smash that like button and hit that red subscribe button, of course, because it does go a long way. So if you're looking across the board right now, we're seeing market picking up. Like I said, if you watch some of my other updates, you guys know about this. We're seeing a lot of excitement coming in, and this is something we've been anticipating on my channel for quite some time, especially when you take a look at the way Bitcoin has been performing. As far as Algorand is concerned, we're up about 13% on the daily time frame. Very, very exciting, of course. If you're looking at it on a weekly time frame, 25.8% increase for Algo, with the price currently sitting at 22 cents right now, up 6.8% in Bitcoin. Comparative market cap at $1.9 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $130 million. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So let's take a look at what's happening with the dominance index first and foremost, and then we will really take a look at the price for Algorand. So the dominance has pulled down quite significantly, especially if you're looking at it from June 30th. We were sitting at about 66%. Since then, we have seen a decline, as we can see across the board, which is really nice. But what's really, really nice right now is the fact that Bitcoin, of course, has hit an all-time high. Brand new all-time high, almost retesting $120,000. Crazy to think about that, Bitcoin is at these levels. But, what's interesting is that, even though Bitcoin had an increase of about 6 to 7% over the last 24 to 48 hours, we have not seen the dominance see a major spike. What we would expect 98% of the time to play out, that did not happen this time around. So in terms of altcoin, that is a great indication, as I've stated to you guys before. If you're looking at BTC, we're on the verge of yet again breaking towards a new all-time high, and obviously entering price discovery mode. Once we enter price discovery mode, as you guys know, there's no resistance, there's no support. Pretty much the sky's the limit, depending on how much volume we have. But if you're looking at Algorand here, obviously that's what everyone wants to know. What's really happening with Algorand? Believe it or not, I've stated to you guys about this on my channel before. We are still in the bear market zone for Algorand. Yes, simple as that. I know not a lot of people want to hear this, but we are in the bear market zone, because look at these levels we were in, in 2020, obviously 2022, all the way till now. We did have that major breakout that took the price of Algorand up to 61 cents, which was last December, but we're nowhere near that right now. If you want to put that into perspective, that itself is a move of about 178.56%. But what we need to keep in mind is we had the similar sentiment around that time here as well. No one really thought that Algorand would make a move the way it did. And again, if you want to put this into perspective, we saw a move of about 500% for Algorand that started at the beginning of November, and that went up to the 61 cents, and that was in a matter of 2.5 weeks. That's how fast Algorand had that major move. But what's quite interesting here is, yes, we saw a major correction. Obviously, dominance skyrocketed since then. You can see this for yourself. We saw a correction of about 75%. If you did not lock in profits around that range, you're pretty much round tripped back down to Q4 last year levels. And this is why it's so important to lock those profits in when it comes to seeing those profits. When you're looking at 300 to 500% increase, you don't want to be getting greedy, because I know we tend to think, oh, we're already up 500%, maybe we can go an additional 500%. With that type of mentality, that can actually leave a lot of profits on the table. And I understand how that works. Of course, the way our brain operates, we tend to get greedy. Trust me, you don't want to be getting greedy when it comes to locking those profits in, and I cannot stress this enough. But what's interesting here is, yes, we went below that key support line at 21 cents 2 different times. Once was in April, and once was, of course, just in June. Pretty much you could say double bottom here as well for Algorand around the 15 cents price point. But what's interesting here is that we still did not retest November 2024 levels around 10 cents, which is of course somewhat bullish if you want to pretty much take a look at it from that point on. But we are trying to break out of this key resistance, and right now, as of recording this update, you cannot make this up, guys. You can literally see we're sitting right at the neckline of that support line itself. So that should really tell you the significance of that range. It's not just random, random trend lines that I'm drawing on the charts. These are very, very important key levels. And right now, we're actually sitting at that, level itself. What you want to see happening here, if you are, of course, an Algorand holder, is you want to see that close. Very important. So today's Friday, of course, it's midnight here in North America, depending where you are. You want to see this resistance turning into support, which we're above right now, but you want to see that close, the daily candle close. If it's able to do that, I'm projecting 26 cents, for Algo. And the 26 cents is a very, very important range. And of course, breaking above that would be a very, very, bullish thing. Reason why I say that would be bullish is because, of course, we would be, breaking out of our May, high that was around 26 cents. And that would pretty much open the door, in my opinion, for us to start retesting around 30 cents and then slowly but surely start heading up to that major resistance. We still, even though we had a major 500% increase Q4 of last year, we still did not see the price of Algorand breaking into the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement level. And if you want to understand when the last time the Algorand price was around this level was back in 2022. That was the last time we saw Algorand sitting at that level. And of course, after we broke below that 68 cents key support, guess what happened? The bear market cycle started. And we have still been in this bear market cycle. So this is why I'm saying we are in the bear market zone still. But I know a lot of people are optimistic because, of course, this is a layer one, its own blockchain. Remember, layer one, layer twos are, the projects that do tend to bring in a lot of excitement. A lot of investors are more leaning towards these projects because, of course, they're bringing a real world use case. There's utility behind them. And, with the regulatory clarity coming, I think, utility projects are really going to be the ones. Of course, from the beginning, even if you kind of go backtrack in the previous cycles, you always saw utility projects always thriving when, things really started heating up. What makes us think this time around, especially with US being at the forefront of the clarity coming towards, the crypto space, what makes us think that we're not going to see that happening again? I'm very optimistic. We do see the 78.6 retest once again. Remember, in order for Algorand to reach dollar price point, which a lot of people want to see it happen, of course, the dollar price point's always that psychological price point, but it would need about an $8.6 billion valuation for it to hit that. So we'll see what happens. We came very close to it. Obviously, just in December, we were almost at 70 cents. So we got to take it one step at a time, of course. First, let's focus on these levels. Let's focus on, getting our, price back into the 78.6 before we start worrying about anything higher than that. But do let me know in the comments down below what your personal thoughts are. Shout out to the Algorand family. If you want to see more of these Algorand updates, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and, of course, like the video. We'll see you later. It's been Crypto ZX, and peace out.